You might be wondering if it's time to buy your dream home in 2025. Many of you have been on the fence for years over whether or not it's time to make your move to Louisville, Kentucky. Well, Zillow recently shared their housing market predictions for 2025, and their insights are eye-opening. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the Zillow housing market predictions. I'm also going to tell you whether or not I think those predictions are true for our Louisville, Kentucky area market. So whether you are planning to buy or sell in 2025, this is a video you don't want to miss. I'm Katie Skeen, a local realtor here in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's jump right into it. The first Zillow market prediction is that home values will grow at a modest rate. They say that the national forecast is that homes will grow at 2.6% growth. This assumes that there will be stable interest rates hovering around 6.5% and an increase in home listings. We are expecting that the growth here in Louisville will mirror that of the national trend. So we do expect a modest increase in home prices throughout this year. We're also expecting more inventory on the market, and this is going to be really helpful to home buyers because with more inventory, there's going to be more options, and it might even be possible to negotiate some favorable terms for the buyers. Now that 2024 is over, we can actually look at our local area housing market statistics for 2024. We ended the year with a median sales price of $275,000. This was an increase from the previous year where we had a median sales price of $259,990. That is a 5.77% increase over the year of 2024. Louisville typically sees a modest 2 to 3% appreciation rate all the way up to 5% as we saw last year. But we are expecting steady growth in our housing market here in Louisville, Kentucky. Zillow actually has two really interesting charts in their article as well, where they go over the top 10 metros where the home values are expected to increase the most in 2025. Now, they do not include Louisville, Kentucky in here, but we do have a couple of markets close by. The closest would be Cincinnati, Ohio, which is expected to appreciate at 2.8%. as well as Indianapolis, Indiana, where they're expecting an increase of 3.3%. The second prediction is that mortgage rates are expected to ease but remain volatile. Zillow is predicting a slight decline by the end of 2025, but if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm pretty much past trying to predict the interest rates. People said all last year, at the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024, everybody was predicting that mortgage rates would end in 2024 lower than where we started the year, and that was not the case. The interest rates did not drop throughout last year as we were anticipating, and so as much as I wish that I had a crystal ball and I can tell you exactly what was going to happen to the interest rates, anybody that's predicting is just making the best educated guess that they can, and even our smartest and most educated individuals guessing have been wrong over this past year. We definitely have continued uncertainty as we look at mortgage rates. They are hoping that they would come down, but I'm expecting them to kind of stay the same and in the short term, maybe even go up a little bit. In January of 2024, we started off the year with an average interest rate of 6.62%, and we actually ended the year over 7%, right around 7.1%. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put up the Housing Wire chart that shows you all of these different organizations, what they're predicting are going to happen with the interest rates. But as I said, I would take these all with a grain of salt. Mostly, they are looking like they're expected to stay in the mid to high sixes throughout this entire year. So if you're waiting for a major drop in interest rates, you might be waiting for a really long time. My suggestion to buyers about interest rates is make sure that you can afford your monthly payment with the interest rates the way that they currently are. Now, of course, we can try to work with your lender and negotiate with the seller to do some sort of a temporary buy down solution for you. And that can be a really great solution for many buyers, but that only lasts usually for 2 to 3 years. So you need to make sure that you can afford your monthly payment in light of these current interest rates. And then we will just hope for the best that within the next few years, you would be able to refinance. We're going to continue with Zillow's third housing forecast prediction here in a second. But before we do, I just wanted to stop and tell you what a privilege it is for me to make these videos for you. I absolutely love keeping you all up to date on what's going on with the housing market, local info, news about different neighborhoods within the Louisville, Kentucky area. And I just wanted to say, if you're planning to make a move here in 2025, then I highly encourage you to go ahead and download my Louisville Relocation Roadmap. You can see the link in the description. It is a totally free download. It is going to outline step by step exactly what you need to consider when relocating here to the Louisville, Kentucky area. So take a minute, download my free relocation roadmap. It's really going to help you get started in your process of moving to Kentucky. Zillow's third housing market prediction is that the Southwest joins the list of regions tipping in buyers' favor. We actually see this previously in the article where they give us the list of top 10 metros where home values are expected to decline. So New Orleans, Louisiana is actually top in that list with negative 3.8%. They include Austin, Texas, as well as San Antonio, Texas. This prediction is tied to the fact that many people are actually having to return to work after this trend of so many people working from home during the pandemic in 2020. As we see some of these Southwest markets tend to correct, we might see higher inventory. This is just going to make it a little bit easier on buyers in those areas. Those buyers can expect less competition and less bidding wars in their market. That is really great news for those buyers in those areas. Now, how does that relate to Louisville, Kentucky? Well, Louisville tends to be fairly stable in their housing market. Even if we go back to 2008, 2009, when we saw one of the biggest housing market crashes in our recent history, Louisville, Kentucky really didn't see that big of a correction. The median sales price in 2008, I think it was negative 3.2%. So we really didn't see a massively huge correction in our local Louisville market. So I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen here in Louisville this year. The fourth Zillow market prediction is that deals for renters will be less common. So the prediction is that there's going to be fewer concessions for renters. We've seen construction has slowed in many areas over the last 10 years. So if cities are underbuilt, there's just this higher need for housing all the way around, whether you're a renter or a buyer. And in light of that, there can be a lot of competition for these rentals. So landlords just aren't motivated. It's more of a landlord's market, so to speak, when it comes to renting. So you're not going to see a bunch of incentives and special programs for renters this year. I think this is definitely true here in our Louisville, Kentucky area. I think you're going to pay a premium for rent. Sometimes you're going to be paying more in rent than you could even with a mortgage. So if you are trying to debate between homeownership and renting, I really do recommend you reach out to a local realtor so that you can understand if it's even possible for you to pursue home ownership. If we look at the average rents within Louisville, Kentucky as of January 2025, we see that the median rent in Louisville, Kentucky is $1,300 per month. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $1,092. The average rent for a two-bedroom apartment is $1,270. If you're looking at a single-family home, the median rent is $1,855. Now, if you're looking for a particular neighborhood or a particular size of house, we are seeing rents well above $3,000 a month in some areas, even up to $5,000 or $6,000 a month. So it really depends on your situation whether renting or buying is going to be best for you. I think this next prediction is really great, but before I tell you what it is, I just wanted to mention to you once again that if you're thinking about relocating to the Louisville, Kentucky area, I really want you to reach out. I get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people like you every single day who are relocating to the Louisville, Kentucky area. I'm going to put my contact information right here on the screen. Feel free to just send me a quick text right now. Tell me about your plans of moving to Louisville. I remember what it was like to relocate here 13 years ago, and it's really important that you get connected with someone who can answer your questions and help you along in this process. The next Zillow prediction for 2025 is that pet-friendly will be a non-negotiable for property managers. It is becoming more and more the norm that people want to have the option of having their pets in their rentals. This is probably true because of all of the pets that we saw adopted during the COVID pandemic. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm guilty of buying a COVID puppy. We had never wanted a dog in our family. My husband always said no. But during the pandemic, I said, listen, if there's ever a time to get a puppy, now is the time. And that's what we did. So check out Sweet Bear. He is so cute. We can't imagine life without him. But If you are a pet owner and a pet lover and you're also a renter, it's good news for you because most landlords are making accommodations for pets in today's market. The next Zillow prediction is that Americans will take it down a notch with smaller spaces. The prediction is that people will have a preference towards smaller, more cozy homes. We see this cozy language in a lot of listing descriptions. We know that there's kind of this tiny house phenomenon. There's TV shows about it. Many people are preferring this. I think another reason why we see this trend is because people are moving towards more of a minimalistic lifestyle. They want to have less stress, less clutter, less belongings, and they can embrace this with this tiny home type of philosophy. Another really practical reason I see people moving into tiny homes is because of our issue with housing affordability. So it's not surprising that we have to buy smaller homes because all we can afford is sometimes the smaller house. So those are Zillow's predictions. I'd love to know, what are your predictions for the housing market in Louisville, Kentucky in 2025? Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what your predictions are. And of course, like I said, if you're considering a move to the Louisville, Kentucky area, please reach out. Start, number one, by downloading that relocation roadmap. It's a free guide. It gives you all the steps of the process of moving to Louisville, Kentucky. I know it is such a difficult thing to figure out schools, neighborhoods, lenders, timing, all of the steps in the process of moving to Louisville. So go ahead and grab that copy of your free relocation roadmap, and I really look forward to seeing you next time.